morning, early edge. Happy Saturday. Respect to everyone's here for this Saturday slate. We have a ton of college basketball, some NBA to get through as well. But before I bring in the stars of the show, let's take a look back at the Saturday slate with the whole team here. Guys, doesn't get much better than this, okay? This is some serious stuff. We got a lot of pressure on our back to perform the way this team has, but we will try our best. We have a lot on the slate today. We're going to just get right into the picks here. We're going to start with Mike. Mike's taking us right to college basketball today. A big game here for Penn State.
Yeah, big game in the Big Ten for teams that aren't really contending for anything here. But I like this one. It's an early start time at Penn State. We're going to bet against Indiana once again. I think we had a favorable number here. Played this last night on the site, -3.5, -108. It's basically 4 or 4.5 in the market. It looks like mostly 4s, -115 now. Still lean that way. I don't want to play the 4.5s if you haven't got in on this yet. I do make the number in this one up to 6, though. Once again, it's betting against IU. This team, again, outside the top 100 offensively, defensively, outside the top 330 in terms of free throw percentage. I think that they have all but quit here. They had a big game at home against Nebraska. We were on Nebraska that day. Nebraska opened up a 20-point lead, almost gave that one back. They cut it to 2, and then really kind of collapsed after that. So for me, I'm going to continue to bet against IU when we're less than 2 full possessions here. I think it's one where looking at the way they shoot free throws down the stretch as well, I think that even if they find themselves in competitive games, I think that the other team's going to be able to close things out here. So give me Penn State -3.5.
All right. Fair enough. And you can find Mike's bets and all of our other bets here on BetMGM. And you can use our promo code. New customers can sign up today and get $150 in bonus bets. Just place your first wager of at least $5 and you will receive $150 instantly in bonus bets, regardless of your wager's outcome, with the code EDGE50. Again, that is EDGE50. So with that, before we get into the rest, we're going to hear a word from one of our sponsors.
We need your sports news anywhere.
We've got breaking news to bring you.
Then get your sports anytime you want them. Big trade news overnight to discuss.
Because we know you need sports all the time.
A lot of movement in the rankings this week.
A legend adds to their legacy.
We're bringing you that breaking news right here on HQ.
CBS Sports HQ, anywhere, anytime, all the time.
All right. Again, that is what we'll hear from our sponsors. We're going to get back into our picks here. We're going back to college basketball here with Tom. Tom's been killing it here on the site. Got some early picks in here. We'll start with one of those big marquee matchups today. Kentucky hosting Alabama here, and we're liking the Kentucky side.
Yeah, for the second straight Saturday, I like Kentucky. Alabama, they're unbeatable at home. On the road, 3-3. Their 3 losses are to Ken Pom top 20 teams, Creighton, Auburn, and Tennessee, and it's those last 2 in the SEC, Auburn and Tennessee. They've gotten hammered. They've given up 90+ in both of those games. Now, listen, Kentucky hasn't been great at home this year, but listen, they lost that tough game at LSU. But if you look, Alabama had an even tougher game. They were down to Florida all night. They had a comeback. Game went into overtime. Now going on the road to Kentucky. These teams are going to run up and down the court. I like the Cats at home. I got them early on the pick, but I like anything under 3. And then, listen, you see the bags under the eyes. I stayed up till 2:30 waiting for the Yale-Columbia line to come out to write it up for SportsLine. Listen, I think this is a good spot for Yale. They've lost 2 on the road to the other 2 big dogs in the Ivy, Princeton and Cornell. These 2 teams played last month. Yale won by 19. Columbia's had a nice season, but they've beaten up on the bottom feeders of the Ivy. Against the big 3, they've lost by an average of 13 points this year. Columbia does 3 things well. They hit the offensive boards. They cause turnovers. They shoot the 3. Yale's a great defensive rebounding team. They guard the perimeter well, and they don't turn the ball over. I just think this is a great spot for Yale to get back on the winning track. I got it at -6. I take it anything under -8.
All right. Good stuff there. Some more college basketball. I'm going to give us a little break from that. I'm going to take us to the association here. We're going to the game everyone's been talking about with Orlando playing the Detroit Pistons here. But you know what? I'm headed over to Asar Thompson. I'm giving him a chance here. He was one of those guys that was absolutely in the doghouse during that 28-game losing streak. Guys like him, Jaden Ivey, just weren't getting playing time, but now we're seeing him get back up to his minutes like he had in the beginning of the season here. His production's going up too. He's recorded a 20-plus PRA in 6 of his last 7 games. Again, we're starting to see the increase in minutes. I think this is a good buy low spot. I think this line will start to get inflated as he gets more minutes. And then we're staying in the association, going to Josh Hart here, okay, in the Knicks-Boston game. This is one of those plays that I like to call makes a little too much sense, but I have to take it anyway. He has been an absolute machine on the boards. He has gone over this number in 10 of his last 11 games. I will repeat that. He has had 9 rebounds in 10 of his last 11 games. No Julius Randle tonight, no OG. Again, Hartenstein is back, but he's still reported to have limited minutes here, so I still think there's plenty of opportunity for Hart on the board here. So 2 plays from the NBA. We will get back to college basketball here, but first, let's hear about college basketball from one of our sponsors.
The madness doesn't just happen.
Yo, get ready!
And although it's marked on our calendars each year, it's built by moments of mayhem before.
And the crowd goes crazy!
And it begins to bubble long before it bursts. Sure, madness and March may go hand in hand, but it starts right here.
All right, I'm going to bring the team back in. Chip, I'm ready for you to round out our Saturday slate here. We're going back to college basketball. Give me all the energy. Let's talk about your picks.
Yeah, we're going to talk about something that is deep and is very analytical. I'm talking about the DRI. What does that stand for? The Dog Rating Index. Because when I'm looking at a late season, postseason college basketball, the term is always like you need guard play to win. No, you need dog play. You need somebody who can handle the ball, handle the pressure, get to the rim, knock down free throws, which is why I'm looking at All-American guard Jamal Shead. I understand there's all these guards that might be higher rated in NBA mock drafts, but when it comes to college basketball, Houston's Kelvin Sampson has the best dog in the game, and they are going into a hostile environment at Baylor. So I'm going to take Houston. I'm going to lay the small number because while Baylor does have eye-popping talent and more likely lottery picks than Houston does, Baylor has not been as consistent throughout the season as the Cougs have been. Their best win was against Iowa State, a game that if anybody watched was incredibly disjointed, sketchy officiating on both sides. I'm not going to throw out the result. I mean, it shows what Baylor can do beating a quality team, but I don't think it accurately reflects Baylor's ceiling right now, especially when it comes to consistency. I'm going to take the team I can trust. I'm going to take Houston. And I'm also going to add a unique play because I love Wake Forest's roster. But daggum, they have trouble closing out games. You know, they're playing Duke today. Massive game at home. NCAA tournament implications abound. They led at Duke earlier this month. They led at North Carolina. They led against Virginia. They led against NC State. I'm listing almost all of Wake Forest conference losses where they led at halftime. So let's stay off of Wake Forest for the full game. Let's trust them where they've been performing. We're going Wake Forest minus the skinny number in the first half, 20 minutes. And then look, Steve Forbes, Wake Forest fans, they can sweat out what happens at the end to see if the Deacs can finally close it out against a quality opponent. But for us, we'll at least be able to get out knowing where Wake's been the best. So we're adding a little Wake Forest first half play on there.
I like that here. Listen, I'm all about cashing bets early in games. That's my favorite type of thing. I think about baseball, Nerfi, all those things. It's giving the same type of energy here. Love this play. Let's take a look at the recap screen from the team here. Mike is on Penn State minus the 3.5 here. I am in the association with Asar Thompson over 18.5 PRA. Josh Hart over 8.5 rebounds. Tom is on Kentucky and Yale to cover the 6 points here. Chip Patterson on Houston minus the 2.5 and Wake Forest first half minus 1.5. Wow, that is all we have time for today. I said we would get us in and out of here. It's time to enjoy the Saturday, make some money for the weekend. So good luck with your bets. We will see you guys Monday.